Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Woohoo. Hey, guys, friends, family. This is Sienna, and we just got done with doing our Agent on Fire challenge, and Mike and I are hanging out in my Zoom, and I just figured that we would come and have a conversation with you, kind of share what we're doing. And anyways, we wanted to talk about confidence, which no matter what type of an industry in, your confidence is something that's going to create fire in your business, no matter what you do. What do you think, Mike?
I love confidence. I have no idea how to get it. No, I'm not. I'm just joking. Confidence comes from a lot of things. And we were just having a discussion about the personality matrix that we both know about and the categories in which we fall under. Okay. And there's 4 quadrants: promoter, controller, support, and analyst. I'm going to say it again: promoter, controller, support, and analyst. Can the promoter exist without the other 3? Can the controller exist without the other 3? Can the analyst survive without the other 3? Can the supporter get a job working for the other 3? They all are intertwined, okay? And confidence in real estate, okay? A lot of people that get their real estate license do not like going and knocking on people's doors and introducing themselves and getting, 30, 40 doors a day slammed in their faces. But guess what? That builds confidence. Because if you don't bring someone the art of yourself in real estate, give it 1,000% of your personality and your drive, then they should pick a different real estate agent to list their property, because you're not giving it your all. You're living on the fear side of the street, worried about what's going to happen in the immediate, situation when, that's why a lot of agents still buy postcards. To all the agents that still buy postcards, you're crazy. You're crazy. They go like this. They go from the mailbox to garbage can. They might get looked at as they're going into the garbage can, but that's it. And they know it's going to be the same agent every time. And that agent, I'm not saying that agent's not successful, but that card and the amount of money and cost and resource that you spend to make those things, put that into live, relevant content here on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and any other form of media that you can use to promote what you do in real estate, right? So we were just talking about in our training, my thank God for Jessica. You know who Jessica is. Everybody, Jessica's my fiance. And she critiqued me within seconds of that training going offline. And she knows me. And she knows how intense I am. It's like, what happened, honey? You can't sit behind a desk. You need to be hanging from a tree doing backflips, okay? Because that's what I do. I need to be on a motocross track, a ski mountain, up in whatever. I happen to be up here in Wrightwood in one of our investment properties up here, all right? That's where I am right now. This desk is a temporary desk that I take everywhere with me because I need to have something I can work on. But 99% of my job is the grocery store, the hardware store, the local pub, hanging out with people, talking and meeting people. Almost every single day. Even if I'm in Lowe's last night or the night before, I meet a guy that was helping me. He wants a condo in Pasadena. I'm going to represent him on the buyer side to buy a condo in Pasadena, a city which I know really well. Okay? So that is how you do real estate. That is where the confidence comes from. Yes, you get confidence when you close a 6, 7, 8, 7 to 9 digit real estate deal. That will build confidence, I assure you. But it's not necessarily going to give you the knowledge and the drive to go get another one. You got to go get that somewhere. I recommend doing it in the morning. Fire your morning up with declarations. Wake up 2 hours early. Work on all your marketing plans. Come up with what your week is going to look like. And at the end of the week, be able to look back and go, I did everything I said I was going to do this week. I'm good. Bring on the weekend, right? Because in real estate specifically, people know right away whether you're full of shit or not. They know you're just trying to get their listing, and they know, and especially this drives me nuts, because real estate agents work on commission. And that commission is usually a 5 or 6 on a residential retail listing. It's 5 or 6% on the broker side. And then for those of you that don't understand real estate, you split that in half and give the other half to the agent that brings the buyer in. So you've heard of double ending. It's when you represent dual agency and you're on both sides of the deal and you make full commission. But 90% of the time, you're going to represent one side, they're going to represent the other side, you split that in half, right? Well, a lot of agents, to get listings or get clients, come straight at the client and are going to give them 1 point, 2 points, or advertise that they will list a property or work for almost nothing. Like, why would a client want to work with someone that devaluates themselves that much? Confidence? Like confidence? How is confidence? I'm willing to give everything, all of my worth and value away to get you to work with me. That's not confidence. That's stupid. Okay? So all you agents that do that, that's my opinion. Okay? Okay, let's see. I hope Jessica chimed in on this one. I want to get a critique on this. So value versus confidence. Okay? So that's a great point, and I'm going to just twist those ones together. Value is confidence. It is. Because if you don't have any confidence, your value is a freaking goose egg. You think that someone's going to want to sit down if you're representing a property and the buyer comes in and it happens to be a very, very seasoned developer or investor. Are they going to want to sit there speaking with someone that has no confidence? They bring no value to the table.
Nope. Especially in this market when it's so competitive, when you're competing against 20, 30, 40, 50 other offers, especially with the buyer side.
Yeah.
You know, the person with the most confidence, most experience is going to win the game.
That's it. That's it. I was in a conversation, Sienna, the other day with, it's actually a deal Jessica and I are working on together, right? And she goes, what do I tell him? And she didn't ask me that because she doesn't know. Jessica and I are both very, very real estate agents with different styles, okay? But she said, what do I tell him? I said, tell him this. And they said, okay, this is not a market that a buyer can dilly-dally over making decisions, which is what I was talking about at the beginning of our training, that I just happened to see Pete Lormer's latest Monday mantra. PLG Estates, formerly my old broker, they're not there, they're Kokorian Luxury now in Beverly Hills. But Peter said, move fast, break things. I say, move fast and fuck a lot of shit up. Because if you don't, you're going to fail. You're gonna sit around and the years are gonna go by and you're not gonna be making enough money on real estate because you're not willing to stick your neck on the line and get in there and make mistakes and mess shit up. That's what you have to do. Now, the greatest lessons I've ever learned are from making mistakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The greatest lessons, Sienna, you know this too. There's a book that a lot of people know about, but there's a part of that book. It's called Stopping 3 Feet Short of the Goal.
Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill. It is a true story. 3 feet short of the gold. Didn't have the money, didn't do it, sold everything. And the guy that bought all the used stuff for pennies rekindled it, got a different geologist, and figured out that they were 3 feet off, found one of the biggest gold veins in the history of the gold rush. That's a true story.
It is a true story. And you know how often I think about that, because we prospect for gold here in Northern California.
Oh yeah, huge
And
gold up there still, people, or at least, yeah.
so like 3 or 4 weekends through the summer, we're out on the Klamath River prospecting for gold, and you're tired and you're shoveling and you're seeing nothing but little tiny fly specks of gold. And you're just like, should I keep digging? Because what if I stopped?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like 1 inch, is the gold. So I think about that often, and it's like you have to be determined and tenacious, but also know, like, where the veins are. In gold mining, there's method to the madness.
Right. So strategic gold mining in real estate, and Sienna, I actually want to push you on this one in regards to social media and internet marketing, right?
Mhm.
Which is a huge leg of what we do in Agent on Fire, right?
Yes.
That piece of it I'm going to shift off the confidence value conversation, because to me, the confidence is value for me right now.
Mhm.
That's all I'm talking about. There's other value, don't get me wrong, knowledge, market analysis, tools, things you get as a real estate agent from your broker, MLS, other digital tools that we use, Realist, all those things, they're great. Okay. Those are valuable, right? But they're not valuable if you don't use them.
Right.
But the confidence part of it, those tools will give you the confidence to do your job well. What I was going to shift to was what we present in Agent on Fire as what that fire actually is. And that fire is an inside job. You got to find the fire every day. It's like waking up in the morning and putting your boots on to go to work, right? Like every day is the greatest day ever, and it's called Attack the Day. But if you don't have at least somewhat of a plan, something you've been thinking about for an hour, 2 hours, in my case, I usually wake up at between 3:30 and 4:30 every day. It's quiet. Most of the world doesn't start that early, and that's the time to get it done. And when everything starts turning on, the cars are going by and everybody's going to the office, you're way ahead, because you already thought about what your strategic hits are for the day.
Mm-hmm.
I usually do 4. I don't know about you, but I try and hit 4. 4 is like almost.
Yeah, being a controller in that quadrant of like very task oriented, which I'm a promoter too. It's just like keeping a 4 is hard for me.
Right.
But going back to the conversation regarding, building value, influence, trust, and confidence.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of conversation places that we can go.
Mm-hmm.
But we talked a lot about value, and that
Right.
value comes from knowing who you are, knowing what you're passionate about, knowing who you're speaking to, your audience, your niche, and just building that communication,
Right.
those relationships with your, building relationships with your clients, your customers,
Right.
no matter what industry you are in, and, even playing the same game with your friends and family.
Right.
Real estate is a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in marketing, and while it's very, very important to be giving value and influence, trust, and confidence in your business, it's also a numbers game regarding the leads or the prospects that you're going to be bringing in.
Yeah.
We're tired of hearing people, you know, asking your friends and family for referrals. Run out of them, and they'll run away from you.
Right.
But so in this challenge, we're talking about value, influence, trust and confidence, but also about lead generation and setting your business on fire so you're getting lots of leads and prospects that
Yeah.
you can approach.
That actually, if you don't, can I interrupt there for a sec?
Absolutely.
So it's funny, I was talking about 2 days ago, I'm in Lowe's buying some construction material for a project that I'm working on. And I end up in this great conversation with the guy helping me find certain things I was looking for, that it ultimately ended up becoming, I need you to help me find a condo in Pasadena. Okay, so that's a lead that came from a matter-of-fact date trip to a home improvement center. Okay, what if 300 of those came in every month from your online live lead funnels? What if that was the case? And they were getting the same content value that we're doing right now, right here. I mean, this is actually better. I'm more on fire doing this than I am in a very strategic training. That's just a learning curve that I'm on. But that, to me, is what we're bringing real estate agents.
Absolutely.
Okay. Limitless. One of my favorite words, right? Limitless listings, limitless buyers, because you're on fire all the time, and your social media and your advertising and your marketing is conveying the real you to them. That is what Agent on Fire is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So important. It's, we are talking to real estate agents, but this, with 20 years in marketing, this works in any business. That's one thing I found out about as I began serving clients after 2019 when the pandemic hit. What do we do now? Because we're not meeting face to face. I watched lots of businesses go down, but I also watched a lot of amazing business people who took control of the situation, grow and scale their business using online marketing, using lead generations, using the challenge method, and just creating insane amount of money in just a matter of weeks. 1 week, 2 weeks, 30 days.
Yeah. Some people's businesses, because they learn to leverage the right fit, and when it came to marketing, and tripled their businesses because of the pandemic. And other businesses that whined about it and complained about all the shifting that needed to be done, they went out of business. Hey, a restaurant, totally different conversation. It just is, right?
Yeah.
Because people have to go in the restaurant, especially if it's a high-end, type of cuisine, specific, there's no way that you can't present the food if you don't go there and eat it. It's not going to be the same if they deliver it Uber Eats or whatever
Nope.
So in real estate, what we deliver can be delivered this way.
Absolutely.
It can be done. We don't need to be standing in the middle, in your airspace. Don't get me wrong, that's the best. But if you just tweak that out and think of that as a marketing skill set, then we should be using it more. Just like I said, the postcards versus social media and online marketing. Like the postcards, just turn your postcard account off. There's no reason for postcards.
Yep. I remember back in the day when I was doing investing and working for real estate investing coaching company, and we
Mhm.
were doing postcards, hey, door
Right.
hangers, yellow
Door,
letter.
door hangers. Another trash thing. Why do you think you need a permit for them? Because they blow off the door and they're all over the neighborhood.
I actually got fined,
Yeah.
what was supposed to be $1,000 for having my banner signs up back in the day when I was doing investing,
Yeah.
cash now for your house. And
Yeah.
not that game anymore. You don't have to play it that way. There's proven strategies using online methods that work.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. What was I going to say? Whenever I do door to door, I bring a business card, and that's pretty much it. Because if I don't meet the person, then it makes no difference to me. To me, I have to be one-to-one. I would never litter a person's name. Well, that's not true. I would do it. But the point that, with door hangers, but I've done it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've done all those things. But when I go take, a stack of papers, I'm not going to hand them out to everybody. I'm only going to give them to people that I meet if they want them. Because if I can't give them enough reason to call me back when they need help with real estate of any kind, even if it's just a simple question, then I didn't do my job. So that's that drive. That's where I think I think it's interesting how we wrote this: value, influence, trust, confidence, right? So if you take value and confidence, right, the trust and influence is a byproduct.
Mm-hmm.
You can twist it
Absolutely.
any way you want, but I'm just, that to me is what I see. I see an outer circle and an inner circle, and you've got to play in all sorts. You got to play everywhere.
Yeah, I think the foundation is value. You really have to know who you are. Know who you are, know your niche, know your message, and be confident about that, and it being a part of your sole purpose of what you were created to be, and the rest of it follows.
Totally.
Because people know if you're just giving them shit.
If you're just speaking bullshit.
Yep.
If you're just sitting there talking about, oh, well, are you familiar with the market? The market's on fire these days. Oh my gosh, your homes are going to sell for this. I've sold. People advertise when they do a listing, and hey, this is good because that means they're selling stuff. They post something that says in escrow or sold. I do sold digital postcard. Those are fine. Okay. And it says sold $50,000 over asking in 2 days. Right now in this market. As if that's something that we didn't already know was happening. Right? It's almost like, look at me. No, look at the market. The market is what sells the property. You bring an energy into that market, and that's what gives it more glitz and more, flavor, more spice, as our friend Garrett calls it. Spice it up, man. Because if you don't, you gotta spice it up. Because if you don't, it's just another listing going by on the, on the MLS. Oh yeah, I actually, I don't care what anybody says. There's certain things you struggle with in this business, and I always struggle writing descriptions for properties, because if I were to write it, it would come across like I speak, and most real estate, listing descriptions are so boring. It's always like the most sought after neighborhood in all of Northern California, the most exquisite kitchen recently blah. It's like, it's just so stupid. Like, really, it would be better to give a list and let the agent do a video for you. But that's not how we do it. So anyway, well, cool. This is cool. I think we should go live on your on a Facebook page after every training. Tomorrow,
Absolutely, yes.
maybe we'll go longer. Yeah.
And go live on your Facebook or your Instagram.
Sure, yeah. Let's go live on mine. We can go live on my Instagram.
I don't know. Actually, we can't. That was a bad, because we can go live on Facebook, live on
Facebook?
YouTube.
YouTube. Let's do YouTube, then we can push it out to everywhere, no?
We can try that.
Okay, we'll try YouTube tomorrow. YouTube live. All right, cool. I will probably talk to you again in a little while.
Yep. So I wanted to invite everybody, if you're
Yeah.
like loving
Oh,
this
yeah.
conversation, you want to learn more, you want to become an agent on fire. And actually, I'm opening this conversation up to anybody that is in any business, because what we're dropping, these proven strategies, will work in any business.
Yep.
Even though we're talking specifically to real estate agents. And that's our niche. But at this point, we'd love to have you join us. Our domain is agentonfirechallenge.com. I will drop the link in the comments below. We would love to see you in the training. We're going to close the doors tomorrow after our training. So our next challenge will be April 4th. I believe we're doing challenges the first Monday
week
of the
every month.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have a great day, everybody. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll, yeah. And check out the Firestorm Boot Camp too, is one of the bonuses. Firestorm Boot Camp's gonna be killer.
Absolutely. One-on-one with us. Questions, setting up your
Hot seat, push buttons, the whole deal.
Yep. So, all right, guys, have a great day.
All right.